So, what is toxic feminism? Because feminism, let's get this right out of the gate, is not all a horrible thing or idea or philosophy or movement. It has many pros. It has propelled women. It has given us equal rights. It is an amazing, beautiful thing, and I am very grateful for it. Secondly, I do not want you to throw out all of your feminism ways. Doing so will make you a doormat. And third, I pray that you do not get offended by anything that I have to say. I want you to realize that if you happen to get offended, that means that you are being convicted, not by me, but by God. There's something He wants to tell you. There is a string in your heart that He wants to tug on, and it is to your benefit only to listen to the conviction, to look into the conviction, to study the conviction, to ask questions and wonder, why is this bothering me so much? It is up to you to do it because, again, it will only benefit you and push you further up that ladder along your elevation process while you level up to becoming your best version pertaining to femininity. If you've been following me or listening to me for a while, you already know this, but if you are new, I'm going to assume you're new. I believe that women have lost their most important, precious gem that makes us women who we are, and that is our femininity. We need our femininity. What is femininity? Femininity is the way that we are. It is how we communicate with the opposite sex. It is how we are perceived. It navigates the ways that we make decisions in life and relate to the opposite sex. Femininity is not just makeup, hair, nails, and pretty aesthetics. I can say that feminism for sure has made women actually tap more into the physical aspect of femininity. So when I say to people, you're not exhibiting true femininity, I can understand why they will be confused. And it's because they feel like I look feminine, so what are you talking about? And this is normal across the board. But the type of femininity I am discussing is an internal one. If you've been working with me, you know that I am very focused on the inner work. A lot of women, not just you who listening right now, a lot of women want to just jump into the dating field. They want me to just match make and hook them up time and time again. And they all get very discouraged when I say, first, we're going to go through a process where I will be your life coach while you are single. And then you will see that you don't even need to do that much work of going to these hookup events or sites because the man will come to you. When you work on your mental blocks that are preventing you from tapping into your femininity, or the mental blocks that are blocking you from tapping into your self worth, when you deal with those things, those forms of self sabotage that you've become accustomed to, you will see miracles happen in your life, God willing. So, when it comes to shedding toxic feminism, I want you to come into this space with an open mind, one that is not too offended, hopefully, and one that is willing to learn and one that is pliable. Because being pliable, submissive, and ready to learn is not only a principle taught throughout the Bible, but it is also a trait of being in touch with your femininity. So, that right there is how we're going to start. Just being willing to accept information that you don't want to hear without being super triggered. Can you do that for me? Is that possible? Can you do that? I hope so. I really hope you said yes. Next point. The way I work with my clients, if you're wondering, is very conversational. I make it a relationship. You're going to be in a relationship together. You and I, we're going to be in a relationship individually. It is going to feel like girlfriends chatting. And I need you to understand that just because it feels easy, it does not mean that transformation is not happening. I pride myself on asking you the right questions that will lead you to ask yourself the appropriate questions. It'll lead you to find answers for yourself pertaining to your particular situation. And when you do feel lost, I am right there to answer your questions. But a life coach is not a teacher. Here is the math problems that will be on the test. Here is the test. And you know you already studied these questions and you can get the answer. It's not like that. That is not how life coaching works. It is my duty to give you the tools. It is my duty to push you, to annoy you, and to trigger you. And that is what I will do. It is my duty to do so in a humbling, soft, gentle, feminine manner so that you are not wounded. It is my duty to also let you know that I am not operating alone. I do resort to God. I pray. I am very spiritual in that manner. And I do refer to the Bible to support my ideals. And next, when it comes to society, I believe that society's mainstream programming is your number one enemy. The reason I believe so is because, as you've seen, if you go back and you look throughout the years, how women have been transforming, there's a lot of things you can see, a lot of improvements, a lot of amazing achievements have been made. And in the same breath, we have gone downhill in the essence that makes us who we are. And this essence is what you are missing. And it is why you do not have the perfect man for you. And in order to get that, we must focus on your personal wellness for you before you say, I do. Are you with me? Are you ready to go on this journey? Because I truly believe that you have within you the capability to tap back into your true self. Another thing that I normally focus on are women who have been through trauma and men, right? When I say trauma, there's sexual trauma, emotional trauma, spiritual trauma, relational trauma, domestic abuse. There is also dysfunctional family trauma, being a child of divorce. There is generational trauma, cultural trauma. As you know, most islanders, I myself am Jamaican, but our culture in majority of the islands is a very tough, strict, rigid one. And a lot of the parents do not pass down the type of love that a child needs to be healthy, completely functional, and well-rounded. Um, and not only the love aspect, but there's also this belief that everyone just agrees and tough work, tough life, and pushing the women to be hyper independent because a lot of the men are unfortunately unhealed. So we have unhealed raising the next generation, which becomes traumatized, and then unhealed raising the next generation, which becomes traumatized, and then unhealed, and all of what was happening in the previous generations gets passed down, plus some, and no one is stopping to address the mental health issues until as of lately. So if you come from an island background, I want to commend you for even being here. I want to commend you for even inquiring. I want to commend you for even admitting just a little bit that maybe I do need some help in this area. That is huge of you. I commend you. Just for that alone, awareness is key. And just for you noticing that, you are going to make leapful bounds, if that even makes any sense, towards achieving your goal of having an everlasting relationship with the one God has meant for you. So, who would be the one that God has meant for you? This person is going to be equally yoked for you. I must strive how important it is to look within for your soulmate. I wish we could all just be blind, honestly. So we would stop looking at external factors to navigate who we're going to be with. I'm not saying, oh, only ugly people are worthy and, you should just go around looking ugly too so that people can know who you are. That's not what I mean. What I mean is we all have these ideals of what our person is going to look like, and sometimes that is not who is best for us. We also have ideals of how we should look. And really, these ideals come from society who have told us how we should look. So I really want you to explore that as well. Just a little caveat. Now, when you start to shed your toxic feminism, you are going to feel very weird, right? You're going to feel very off. You're going to feel very lost, like the ground has come out from beneath you. And I want you to know that that is okay, and I am here for you because you are letting go of your reality. Now, when you're holding on to a tree branch that you have climbed, right? You're climbing this tree, you get to the top, you hang on, and you look down and realize, oh my goodness, I am really high up on this tree. How am I going to get down? You're holding on to this tree. This is this is symbolically your life and attachment to the matrix system that you've been put in by society, right? You're hanging on for dear life. Now, when you're going to choose to let go of this, you are going to be falling, and that falling is going to feel scary. And I want you to know that you are not alone. A lot of previous clients have told me how it feels weird. They get depressed. They don't know who they are. They feel bad about themselves. And this is the core of the shedding. It is scary. It is dark. And this is why during this time, you are focused on you. And I have to let you know what is to come in the beginning. And it does not last forever. But if you are properly doing the inner work, you are going to have some dark nights of the soul. That's just the way that it is. And these dark nights of the soul are called that because you're really looking into yourself. You're really peering into who you are and peeling the layers back instead of just assuming that who you are is who you are and you're just going to be this person forever. You're actually analyzing the role that you have chosen to partake in by choosing to go along with the programming. You are actually deciding that you are going to make a difference in your own life. And it is dark and it is sad and it is scary. And once again, you are not alone. And see, society doesn't want you doing this inner work. They want you to get drunk, get high, or overeat and be super happy and just move on to the next person. Go to another relationship, have a fun night. They just want you in a happy, unconscious daze and haze while you aimlessly try to find the person for you. But now you've been blindfolded with these toxic things. How can you know? How can you know who is for you if you're drinking while out? If you're overeating and feeling amazingly high, or if you are actually high? Or if you're too angry to go out, or too scared to go out, or too afraid to let anybody in? Because fear is another tactic of the enemy. If you have all these factors which are blindfolding you, how are you going to find your mate? We must tap out to tap in. That is the answer. That is the solution. We must shed layers. And today we're focused on this one particular layer because there are other layers, but we're going to shed this one layer. So I want you to explore and answer these questions. How has feminism affected me, both positively and negatively? In what ways am I not in touch with my femininity? And number three, what does femininity mean to me personally? If you can answer those three questions. something I've noticed, and story time. I saw or I heard of a few women. No, no, no. I've seen online women proposing to their husbands, but I've heard of one person that I know for sure who wants to propose to her boyfriend. And where did she even get that idea from? I'll tell you where. Her friends supported her. Where did her and her friends get this idea from? It is from programming, from TV, from radio, from other people hanging out with these people who have already been brainwashed, and it furthering this movement of hyperfeminism of you can do whatever a man can do. Of course, any woman can propose to her boyfriend, but why would you do that? You are taking away the things that men enjoy. You are breaking the system. This system is created on men leading and quote unquote being superior. It is in the Bible. It is just how we've always known things to be. Of course, things can change, and we've seen how it can be positive in some regards, but for the most part, all it does is cause confusion, and confusion is where Satan thrives. Where are the concrete lines of who is in charge of what? That is extra thinking. I'm trying to figure out who can do what, who can do this, who can do that. It is confusion to mix. I don't know what would you call a proposal? I want to say a job title, job description, I'm not sure, but it is confusion to mix an activity, a trait, mannerisms, things that men do with women, with things that women do. Now, if you propose to the man and say, I choose you, what is going to make him want to prove to you that you should stay with him? He already knows that you are going to want to stay with him forever. There's nothing for him to win. There's nothing for him to prove. You've completely taken away the fun. He knows that he has you or that he is yours. And what happens is that you do not know if this man really loves you. Men who love propose, or they at least make it very well known that they want you off the market and want you to themselves. Men who love you and are ready, or men who are emotionally ready for marriage, because sometimes they do love you, but maybe they're not ready to make that step. Men who are propose, and they do so quickly. Men who aren't are confused about a future with you, period. Or they have been so programmed by the same matrix that they don't need to work as hard anymore. And that is troublesome in your future marriage with anyone who marries a man that they had to propose to. You will be forever pushing that man to achieve and do. Forever. Why would you want that? Why would you not want a man who loves you and knows that he loves you without a doubt and knows that he cannot stand to be without you for another minute? Why would you not want that? Please stop being in control. Please tap back into your femininity. It is a gift. And society has convinced us that it is horrible, torture, gruesome, painful, like we're slaves to men. But ask yourself this question. If it is so bad to be submissive, if it is so bad to be in touch with your emotions, if it is so bad to wait on a man to do something, to propose, if it is so bad to depend on a man financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, if it is so bad, then why are they telling men that they should be doing it? Mic drop. If it is so bad, why is it okay for men to do it? Everything they're telling women not to do, they are telling men to do. Everything they're telling men not to do, they are telling women to do. It is confusion, and it is the root of the enemy. Confusion. So I really want you to watch the movies you are watching. And I want you to really notice when you see the gender um, roles flipping and how it turns out for that person in the end and how they try to glamorize it. But in reality, it doesn't make any sense. Men are chemically wired a different way from women. Certain things inspire men and certain things turn them off. And certain men who have been trained to be effeminate are not going to make you happy in the long run because they will be lacking in the core areas of who a man is. Men need to be in touch with their masculinity. Men need to feel happy, and in order to feel happy, they must be doing masculine gender role things to complete them in a fair way. And this is why I say that there are positives to feminism and positives to the male equivalent of that. Because we need to treat each other like we are humans and not dehumanize each other. Like, oh, you're a man, you don't deserve emotions. I don't want to hear about it if you're tired. Like, let's find a fine middle line where we are still on our sides and we still treat each other with respect. But we must shed the layers of feminism if we want to start tapping back into our femininity. And that begins with analyzing how we are being brainwashed, what is being programmed into our eyes through our music, toxic music programming, and through friends and how we speak and how we move and act. It's very important to slow down and get in touch with feminine parts of this world, feminine people, to slowly take deep breaths in and hold the peace, hold the state of mind, and release and exhale out all the toxic traits, all the pent up anxieties where we cannot wait, all the fears of what if, and let it out. We must surrender to God. We must find a man who surrenders to God, not to toxic programming. So, again, if you need to go backwards and find where I mentioned the 3 questions I want you to ask yourself, please do that. But I wish you the best of luck. I know you can do this. And this is just part 1 of shedding and shedding feminism, the toxic parts of feminism, so that you can further benefit along this wellness journey for you before you say I do. I'm the Unique Shanique, and I am complete. I pray you have a wonderful day. I pray you are blessed. And I pray that you want to work with me because I'm not going to lie. I do better when I can talk to someone one on one, when I can figure out your life, figure out your blind spots, and help point you in the right direction. And if you do not stop and take a pause, hold that breath, and work with me, you will keep going down in the same rabbit hole that you've always been in. And why do that when you can make it do what it do right now? I'm here for you. Let's get to work. Let's get you married. Alrighty. Bye.